From the colonial era to the antebellum era, there was a drastic change in government. When the colonists first came over from England, they were still ruled by the king. The king controlled matters in New England, such as taxes, and this control from overseas was finally why the colonists decided to break away from England. All New England colonies had their own legislature or parliament. These government systems were democratic and had a governor, governor's court, and a court system. A colonial legislator was elected by property-holding males, but governors were appointed by the king and, in theory, had almost complete authority. The legislators controlled the salary of the government and often used this influence to keep the governors in line with colonial wishes. There were three types of systems of government used within colonial government. Royal government, where royal colonies were ruled directly by the English monarchy. Proprietary government, where proprietary colonies were established in territories which had been granted by the English crown to one or more proprietors who had full governing rights. And charter government, where charter colonies were generally self-governed and their charters were granted to the colonists and opposed to the proprietors.
Created during the American Revolution and carried out through the antebellum period, the caucus has become a staple in American political culture today. One writer during this time period described the caucus as a new and grand caucus that would be used by the people to employ their whole strength to obtain such a choice of representatives in an ensuing election, as well as best serve their grand purpose. This purpose often involved making speeches and drafting resolutions that opposed the war and the British occupation of the colonies. The moderator of the caucus would pose the questions to be voted on by the club's numerous representatives, also called the Old and True Caucus. Boston's caucus system soon became a critical part of the government of the antebellum period.
Originally, those who participated in the caucus system were called caulkers, who met in the lower parts of Boston in secrecy. It soon became a club with many of Boston's powerful men, such as Samuel Adams and the town clerk William Cooper, who joined John Adams as part of his powerful political organization. These people would often send committees to wait on the Merchants Club and to propose and join in the choice of men and measures. Eventually, the Caucus of Boston became critical to the independence of America. Caucuses soon started to pop up all across Boston, which led to caucuses networking with one another to enact change in Boston. Caucuses are still very prominent in the American political landscape, and many states still use them to debate legislation and show support for political parties and ideas. Soon, there would be another first for Boston.
John Phillips served as the first mayor of Boston in 1822. He was born on November 26, 1770. Before his position as mayor, Phillips served 25 years in the General Court, during 10 of which he was president of the Senate. Additionally, he served for many years as town advocate and public prosecutor. John Phillips has been described as being a man of rather pliable disposition but of strict integrity and general good judgment. Due to health issues, Phillips could not run a second term as mayor. The next mayor in his place then became Josiah Quincy, who served from 1823 to 1828. These first two mayors were the biggest leaders in the city, and they changed the way things went. By having a mayor, more order was kept in the society during the antebellum period and beyond.